Okay. On that legal, so no awareness on AI. Also, the system. Let's take time. Take time for enforcement to come high. Slow enforcement.
No real time.
So each of you will have different problems that you're facing. These problems may be really obvious to you. You might be dealing with them on a daily basis. They might not be obvious to everybody else. So what are your problems? And perhaps as an organization, what are your challenges? After the first session, we'll kind of look a bit more closer up about kind of how these scam ecosystems actually work. And then in the afternoon, we'll kind of move on to talk a little bit more about kind of some of the AI stuff and what the new trends are in this area in relation to AI and automation in the way that, you know, increasingly we don't have to do this manually. We can have AI systems running these scam operations. But then I think it's really important that, again, we get to the growth part. You know, what are the positive visions? What are the positive solutions? You know, and what is kind of the role for innovation in this regard? So what are the promise? But we're realistic. What are the limits as well? But I think it's really important that we look at that. And then towards the end, basically we'll try and kind of distill everything that we've learned throughout the day to think about what a joined-up response is. And I think I can't overstate how useful it is to have these different organizations in the room to answer what we could do together. So in terms of introductions, this is me. I'm Andrew McStay. I'm not from Abuja. I'm from Wales in the UK, Bangor University. And I direct an organisation called the Emotional AI Lab. So in essence, we're kind of interested in the connection between technology, AI, and human emotion.
So in your groups, I will be asking you to think about various things like the legal and regulatory enforcement. Is enforcement in this area possible? What are the challenges? You know, what about institutional capacity? Things like that. Are the right laws in place as well? But can we enforce them? Also the jurisdictional limits and challenges. This is an international issue. Scam cultures.
And then we have budgetary challenges too. Sometimes maybe governments or agencies may not prioritize these things, and then budgets in that direction may not come as they should. Then there's also the part of lack of cooperation between the law enforcement and some social media platforms, for instance. Something happens, law enforcement needs some information, cooperation, and those platforms are not, for whatever reason, maybe legitimate or not, are not cooperating. And then we also have, like I said earlier, the lack of awareness. And the information.
Because AI are getting this much easier, because it can provide money, people can use these things to scam. Trying to convince people now or providing alternatives that can change the mindset of young people cannot really do enough. Because when people are convinced or when people think that something can easily give them money, providing or trying to change their mindset will be a big challenge. The effective way to minimize the problem of AI scam is digital and media literacy. Try to use the media to raise awareness. Because not just to raise awareness, but to also use local languages. Use simple languages that people can understand. When you are telling people, for instance, somebody in my village about AI, and you are using the technical jargons, the person will be looking at you as if you are talking trash. But when you come down to the person's level, I think it will create that awareness that if somebody comes from the city and is telling you that there is an investment that
generate ideas that we can, of course, use the future to solve some of these scam issues, right? So, as the secretary, I think I'm more concerned about the welfare, and that's right, like you said, anything that is going to make people uncomfortable as well.
Is to widen the horizon, and now we have scammers and slackmans. Now the scammers are the active fraudsters, while the slackmans are the passive fraudsters. And why is that? So when you engage in culture that encourages scam, so what are you part of it? So when you talk about primary smokers, secondary smokers, same is happening in scam. So when you go to the villages and you find cheapest title given to them, those who honor them, those who visit them, those who give them those titles are slackmans. You know, yes, you are slacking, but you're a scammer. So you have the active and the passive, and that is what culture has done to widen the horizon. Now, you see, and you go to the family circle too. Your son buys you something and you don't know how to got it, but you're a slackman, so you're a fraud. So what I'm saying is, if you attack the slackman, you might help to save the scammer. Thank you very much.
The scammer could, I saw your video where you were talking about your financial manager. Imagine if the automated system is running in a way that it can as well talk to the person. Maybe they get the list of people that potentially would give you the money. So they run all of them to the system, and at the same time, it's targeting all of them. And it knows that know-how, a certain percentage are going to work. So at the end of the day, they are going to either get from this person or the other person. So what's really changing is the scale. So they scale now. So instead of like 100 people that they can target in a month, now they can reach thousands of people within a short period of time. I think that's something as well. Thank you.
In some particular region, these crimes are more violent than other regions. If you go to some states in Nigeria, you find little cyber criminals. Why? The society does not believe in it. So, as a result of this, some cultures believe cyber crime is a normal way of life. So it affects a lot. In another way, economic challenges. When you arrest some of these people, most of them are between the age of, we have seen 14, we have seen 14, we have seen 12. But most of them are in mental schools. They start from 12, we have seen 16 to 24. And when you get them, they say they have nothing to do, their parents are poor, there is nothing else they can do. They are into romance scam, fishing, and so on. But though it's not a justification for you to say economic challenge and driving us into cybercrime. Because we have seen criminals that own estates. If you go to some of these regions, they own estates, they own hotels. But they still have boys that work for them. They are still into crime. So for them, you cannot justify that economic challenge is the reason why they are into crime. Now, most of these crimes are being perpetrated as a result of fear. For example, hyper-personalized phishing. They come without urgency of fear. Your account has been deactivated. If you don't click this, you are going to deactivate your account. So,
crimes, but it's not just the common law we use in the court, I'm sure. I don't know so much, but when we take this kind of cases to court, we should enforce strict consequences. Don't let people get away easily. I think for security and
to get you emotionally connected so that you bring them over, that also happens. Even though in the case of Nigeria, we don't have, like it happens in the Gambia, where matured elderly women taking our young people. also look at it from the brain drain perspective. Some of these chaps, they are very intelligent, even though they are using their intelligence negatively. And instead of that intelligence to serve to help us in the country, to serve the technology ecosystem, the educational institutions to help
So drop all of this into a report, an extended report, a slightly simplified report, and then please feel free to react to it, to share amongst your colleagues, your agencies, and anything we can do to help you. So when you read it, you think, oh, that's really interesting, we want to know more, we can do more, anything you want to do to collaborate, we're really up for it. So please, please, please reach out to us. I think these types of sessions, a workshop we leave, but try to think of this as the start of a conversation, not the end of a conversation.